Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So Donald Trump is going all in. Donald Trump is taking an all-hands-on-deck approach, leaving no stone unturned and making sure that he is playing to win in November. We've got about 2 months and a week or so, a little bit more than that, before the 2024 election. We have about, 4 weeks until a decent amount of states start their early voting process as well. So we're really kind of, going full steam ahead to election season here. Democrats, they've gotten their hype back a little bit. They got a little bit of energy compared to a couple months ago after that disastrous of a debate for Joe Biden. Is that going to last? Well, either way, the Republicans are very, very amped up as well. The problem is turnout. Are they going to get the turnout they need to defeat Kamala Harris this November? Well, I found this article from CNN that kind of goes in depth and outlines the plans of Donald Trump and what they're doing differently, and it's true. You look at this, and Donald Trump is planning, according to his own campaign, to ramp up his schedule, which is good. I mean, I'm not going to knock the guy. And the article, they definitely try to, make it seem like the concerns for Republicans were, all warranted, which honestly, the guy survived an assassination attempt. If he wants to do less rallies for a little while during, the lead up to the DNC, that was fine, but he is definitely going to work on his debate skills and cultivate the new ground game strategy that is tied to the early voting states, and that is important. Now, to be honest, I don't think that Donald Trump needs to really improve his debate skills to have a shot at defeating Kamala Harris in a debate, but if he's able to kind of fine-tune his approach, he's definitely going to walk out of that debate the victor. And we understand, how this is going to play out. You have moderators on a network where there's arguably even a conflict of interest for Donald Trump. He is going to want to make sure that he does not give them any ammunition to run with. And if he's going to be really preparing certain talking points or whatever and doing mock debates, he's probably going to do a little bit better. I don't think it's really going to hurt to hone in on those debate tactics and skills. And the ground game strategy is important because North Carolina starts their early voting next month. I believe Pennsylvania does as well in terms of these, mail-in ballots that people get via absentee, whether it's that or in-person absentee, whatever you name it. These are states that are very crucial, very consequential, and Donald Trump is going to want to make sure he does everything in his power to win them, and trying to go out there and get as many people, swamp them early and swamp them on election day. That's what he's trying to do. We'll see if that plays out well for him, but it kind of shows that they are playing to win. They are playing to win, and his schedule, he's going to visit a different battleground each day. He's going to Michigan, I believe, today for some sort of a National Guard conference. Then he's going to be doing a town hall in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Then he's going to do a rally in, Johnstown, Pennsylvania later in the week. So you see what's going on here. Donald Trump is doing everything that he possibly can do to hit these battleground states, barnstorm them, and focus in on those big 7 states, because that's where the election's going to be decided and won. And they say, think Trump on steroids, it'll be all hands on deck. There you go. And that debate is coming up. It's coming up on September 10th. And Trump is meeting with a lot of different people, policy experts, Republican lawmakers, allies, you name it. And definitely he's going to try and go out there and do a debate prep. And that's kind of what's going on. Now, Donald Trump typically has avoided this sort of thing, but still he's been, this time around, he's working with Tulsi Gabbard, who was a Democrat who was on that Democrat debate stage and went out there and essentially ended Kamala Harris's first presidential bid. She's definitely trying to end her second bid by working with Donald Trump behind the scenes, help him grasp how Harris typically debates. And that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Definitely a primary debate is going to be a lot different than a general election debate, but still, debate is debate and style is style, and it is to a certain degree transferable. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But in terms of Tulsi Gabbard, you have a lot of people a lot of Democrats, former Democrats or former liberals, and people who backed Biden in 2020 flipping to Donald Trump in 2024. You already had RFK Jr. throw his support behind Donald Trump. Apparently, Donald Trump is announcing more Democrat support in the coming days or weeks, which is huge. I speculate it's going to be Dennis Kucinich, or however you pronounce his name, from Ohio, who was a very, I guess you would say, more populistic Democrat, kind of regarded to be like the male version of Tulsi Gabbard back in the day to a certain extent. He's defended Trump at times during his presidency, but never was like a full supporter. I possibly could see that happen because he was close with RFK Jr., endorsed him in the primary back when he was still running as a Democrat against Biden. So that's definitely on the table, but still, he is going all over the country, and that's what he needs to do from this point forward. He should be doing a different event in a different state every day. He doesn't have to do a full-on arena rally or like a rally with tens of thousands of people every day, but just like he did last week in Nevada, he did an event for his no taxes on tips policy. That was smart. It was mainly directed at a state like Nevada, state-specific events, talking about those issues. Shorter events too, but still very important ones, and he's able to do as many of them as he possibly can do. So we'll see what happens, but you talk about his own pollsters saying that they expect some post-convention bump in polls for Harris, but they believe that the polls are noise, which is true, and that they need to keep their eye on the ball, and that means in their target states, get to 270, winning these states. And we talked about that in the last two videos. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia, that's all you need to get to 270. So we're going to have to see how it shakes out, but that's absolutely huge. And people, of course, are questioning some of his past event choices. And of course, CNN is going to be CNN and kind of inject this in because, of course, he visited Montana for the Senate race. He visited New Jersey for the Philadelphia media market. They don't quite get what's exactly going on here. But still, what matters is down the stretch, and Donald Trump is ramping it up at the right time, and Trump's campaign says it's an all-out sprint in November. They're going to keep this operation running. They got to, get this ground game out there in these swing states, which they'll be doing, and they got to go out there and win, and that's pretty much it. And Trump is going to focus on where the ballots first go out, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and we understand that. And states that are going to be tilting towards one party or the other, they say Minnesota and Florida. I don't know exactly how that's going to really pan out, but I assume he's just going to be campaigning there, first when the early voting starts. He's just not going to spend a lot of time in those specific states. The main focuses are going to be in the main seven, but especially where they have these ballots going out first and foremost so they can maximize turnout. And he's going to hold smaller events tailored on messages. That's exactly what I said. So it seems like overall the campaign is focusing on what it needs to focus on and where they need to focus on in order to win. They are playing to win. And of course, the article is going to focus on certain jokes that Donald Trump has made. Of course, they want to do that and say, oh, he's attacking Harris personally. But here's the deal. It's not like they don't do the same thing to him. You had a convention for 4 days that was full of nothing except for personal attacks on Donald Trump. He's able to hit back a little bit, and that's okay. He's able to joke around, and that's okay. They're trying to sensationalize these things just because they have nothing. They can't beat him on his own record as president. They can't beat him on policy. So that's what they're trying to do. And is it going to really work out for them? Probably not. But we'll just really have to see. But the bottom line here is that Donald Trump is doing what he needs to do and focusing on doing a lot of events and doing a lot of rallies. Because even the events that are smaller get a lot of media coverage. Rallies are not just about the people in the crowd or having a crowd size. That helps for sure. You get people in line. They try to register as many voters as they can. But it's kind of more of a domino effect in terms of how the media kind of perceives it. And that's very true. You look at the election map here. If you talk about him going to, let's say, do an event in the city of Philadelphia, the whole media market is going to have to cover it. And a lot of people watch local media as well, which tends to be a little bit less biased compared to the mainstream media as a whole. So we'll have to wait and see what happens on this election cycle. But those are the first two big states that he's going to focus on. And definitely he's going to have to focus on Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, Wisconsin, when those states are going to first open up their early polls at some point. And in terms of J.D. Vance, they talk about J.D. Vance. He's going to be barnstorming the Rust Belt, which is true. J.D. Vance has that appeal to the Rust Belt. That's why Donald Trump picked him to be his vice president, because he is a populist, he's a protectionist, he's tough on the border, he's tough on immigration, he understands the concerns of a lot of these voters because he grew up in an environment similar to how a lot of these voters grew up in. And of course, the media is going to try and, do whatever they can do to trash him, ruin his reputation, but he's handling them well. He's not afraid to go on the Sunday shows. Harris and Walz, they're not doing any interviews. They're not doing a sit-down interview. She promised by the end of August. She's running out of time. You've got 6 days left. I don't think she's going to do one. Maybe she'll take a question from a reporter or something here and there that's very easy, basic, and probably scripted. But either way, he's going to continue to go on the Sunday shows, get out there, participate in podcasts that target younger audiences, which is definitely huge. Donald Trump doing all of these little podcasts, they definitely add up. He got over 10 million views on the Theo Von show in terms of him golfing with a professional golfer just on the golf course like a regular guy, video of him doing that. 11 million plus views. They all add up, definitely those podcasts, and they reach a lot of younger voters as well. So we'll see, but it seems like adding a little bit of that here and there, especially for J.D. Vance, because Trump's going to have to spend more time campaigning, leave some of that stuff to Vance, let people get acquainted with Vance, maybe change his perception in the public a little bit, and that's kind of what you need to do. I'm not saying it's even bad. We polled this issue in Pennsylvania. We asked people if they preferred Vance or Walz. It's a jump ball. It's a dead heat, and Donald Trump is up in the state. So either way, he's going to have to get those voters out, because polls are meaningless except the one poll on Election Day if you're not able to get those voters out. And there's never been a one-man ground game that exists like Donald Trump, and everybody knows it. But, still the Democrats, they've been, working on theirs for a very long time. And Republicans have been turning a corner a little bit of, in recent years too, and trying to emphasize it. But we have 70-some days until Election Day, and we got to make them count, or it'll be all for nothing. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.